Summit. I am Derek Pierce, and I appreciate you being here. I am going to skip asking all of you to chime in because I've already done that before I press the record button. So we'll just go ahead and jump right in. I'm super happy that you're here. I'm excited to show you what some of the things that we've done with Perplexity and why I'm excited about this AI app right now more than ever before. I've always been a big fan of Perplexity. As a matter of fact, in our last AI SEO system update, that's one of the things that we did was we started using Perplexity to go out and prompt it to get what we needed to build the articles around. So as you know, there's a lot of tools that are out there that where you can go out and you can analyze your pages and you can analyze your content and all that sort of stuff. So what I like to do with everything that I'm doing is I like to start off doing that in the very beginning. Like, hey, what kind of word count do I need? What's my outlines need to be? And Perplexity allows you to do that. So in our own systems and our own software and tools that we use, this is one of the first things that we do right out of the gate is using Perplexity to pop these in. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to walk you through some of the things that we're also using in conjunction with that for Perplexity, including one of the Parasite plays that we are using as well. So let's go ahead and let's get started. I'm going to minimize the chat. Also, this is being recorded, so please do not ask if this is being recorded. This is being recorded. I've gotten already like 4 or 5 questions about that. So yes, it is being recorded. I'm going to minimize the chat just so I can stay on point. I will get to your questions though when we get to a breaking point in the training, so that way I can just kind of stay on schedule and stay on my routine here. Also, I'm planning on this going for about an hour, maybe 90 minutes. We may go a little under, may go a little over, but at the end of the day, you're going to have prompts, you're going to have processes and systems that you can use Perplexity with. So let me go ahead and do that right now. So for those of you that don't know, Perplexity opened a offer, and this is it right here. This is when you join with PayPal. You can see I've already claimed mine. But basically, this is letting you have access on a trial basis to Perplexity. I don't get paid anything on this. This is just the raw URL to join the PayPal subscription. And it's just a good offer for a great tool. 12 months of this, and then after the 12 months, it goes to like $20 a month or something like that. The only catch is that you have to sign up through Perplexity, sign up Perplexity using PayPal, and I believe they also have it with Venmo, and I believe there's a couple of other services that are out there, maybe like Xfinity, that maybe offers Perplexity for free. Not 100% sure, but that is what this is all about. So with Perplexity, one of the reasons that I like this is because this gives you real data. This gives you the option to tap into real data with the SEO results, and you're able to see stuff that you can't get otherwise, other than just like doing searches and manual searches and things like that, or having expensive tools or having to tap into APIs. So let's go ahead and let's get back here to the screen. And like I said, this is a free 12-month trial. I just dropped a link inside the chat box if you are interested in that. If you have not signed up for that, I highly encourage you to do that. Another thing that I like is because Perplexity gives you the ability to tap in, as you'll see here in just a moment, we go into some of the basic controls of this. You can use the ChatGPT models, you can use Gemini, you can use Claude, and you can do all this all under one roof. So you can do this, you can use this for research, you can use this to build content, you can use this for Parasite plays, as I already said. So first of all, let's go into some basic controls of this. So once we go into Perplexity, this is what it looks like. There's also a Perplexity app that you can download on your machine. So whenever you when you download it, it looks a little something like this. It's just like a software app that you can use, and you can tap into that with the particular app. Now, over here on the right, when you click this, this is just a new thread. If you want to open up a new thread, you go back home. This is your home. You've got the tabs that's over here on the side, and then you've got your library. Then you've got Discover. This is topics that you can look at and you can analyze, and you can pick what you want on your home page. Think of this almost like your own search page, like your own Google page. As a lot of people are turning more and more to Perplexity, they've even got the comment browser that you can use with this. not really going to touch on that because it's kind of out of the scope of what I'm trying to accomplish, but you guys get the idea here. Also, you've got spaces. This is something that you can create your own space where let's say you want to collect resources for a topic. Now, spaces are not indexable, so it's not going to help you really from a Parasite standpoint, but this is something if you're collecting and you want to collect for something like a sales material, or you're creating for an affiliate offer and you want to collect a bunch of stuff, you can just pop it in here. You can go create a new space and you can add links in here. You can add files, you can add resources, and you can add instructions as well inside this particular space. Now, admittedly, whenever we started playing around with Perplexity, this was one of the first things that I wanted to use, was to see if we could use this from a Parasite standpoint. And this particular part is not going to help you with the Parasite side of things. I'll explain what to do in the Parasite here in just a moment in that particular world. Now, when you go in here and you go back to the new thread, you'll see these options here. You got this right here. This is the search. You've got this. This is a deep research. So if you wanted to do, like, go into some sort of deep research about a particular topic, you could do that. And then you got this here. This creates projects. So you can basically turn the ideas into documents and that sort of thing if you wanted to do that. If you go over here, it sets your sources for search. So if you want to search the web, if you want to search academic papers or social discussions, whatever it is that you want, this is what you control right here. And then this is where I was talking about the models. If you click on this, this gives you access to these different models. You've got Sonar, which is what's built inside of Perplexity. That's what they use. That's the model that they use. But then you see here, you've got all of these others. You've got Claude, you've got Claude Sonnet, you've got Claude 4.1 Thinking, you've got Gemini Pro, GPT-5, and then you've got some of these others, including Grok 4. So at the end of the day, when you sign up and you use Perplexity, that's why I'm such a big fan of this, is because if you're just getting, especially if you're just getting started with AI, you can get access to all of these models all under one roof and be able to tap into these. Because if you look at it, like Claude's $20, and then you go into ChatGPT, that's another $20, and then Perplexity's $20, and then Gemini's another $20. I'm not sure how much Grok is, but all of these start adding up. But with this, you can just tap into each one of the models that you want to use, and you can test which model is going to be better suited for you. And then right here, this is where you add files. So if you've got some PDF files or some documents that you want to attach, so that way you can use as references, then you can do that. This also comes with voice, so you can just click on this and dictate what you want, and it will populate this in here. So that is the basic functionality of this. And then whenever you go over here, you've got under home, you've got library, and then you could click right here on this little plus sign and you can create a page. The page is where we are going to be looking at when it comes to building parasites. So you just click on this, and this will allow you to build a particular page. Now, there's some things that we're going to have to, when we start talking about using this for a parasite, there's some things that we're going to have to do to modify with building these things out. I'll touch on that in later part of the training, but I wanted to go in some of the basic functionalities first, and I also wanted to go into some of the prompting that you can do for some of these uses with SEO for Perplexity. So drop me a line in the chat box if everybody is good, understands what we're doing here and the goal. I know you didn't ask for a recording already. That's got to be a joke, man. It's like, hey, don't ask for a replay. And then somebody pops in, hey, can I get a replay? You're killing me. You're killing me, man. Cool. I think you guys like to come in and just bust my chops on some stuff. It's all good. It's all good. All right, so here we go. Calendar integration. A lot of people don't realize this, but one of the recent updates, that you can do here is calendar integrations. You can tap this into, Google and your Google documents as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to go here to your account, and you're going to go. You can customize all these different settings, but you're going to go here to connectors, and you can see right here you can do Gmail with calendar. You can also do Google Drive. You can also do GitHub. GitHub is another Parasite that you can build on. And this is one of the ones that you can build on. We built some stuff in GitHub with Claude, but you can tap into GitHub using this, just clicking enable. It's going to connect you to your GitHub account. Also, you can use this from Dropbox, Google Drive, as you can see here, Outlook here. But here's what's cool. So I set up some fictitious calendars, some stuff on my Google Calendar, just kind of show you how this whole thing can work as being sort of a hub for you every time that you come into the day for being able to conduct your work. So you can see over here, I put in this calendar, run SEO reports, and then I got this one right here, call with Jeremy Lay from Digital Verge. For those of you that don't know, that is a fictitious name. This is this is a site that I've had forever. And it's just been kind of beat up over the years and kind of almost forgotten about. But you can see here's good old Jeremy Lay, right? Now this picture was back in the day when they used that. I think it was This Person Does Not Exist or something like that. That was one of the image creators that would build a fake person. So that's probably where that image is pulled from, for those of you that may be asking that. So what I did here was I just put in Google Calendar, run reports, call with Jeremy Lay from Digital Verge, because that's the domain that I own. And then I just put in call with DP, right? So I'm going to go in here to Perplexity, and I'm just going to say, check my calendar and tell me what I have tomorrow. All right, and you can see here, this is my calendar. What this is telling me to do: run reports, call with Jeremy Lay from Digital Verge, call with DP. And then you can see here, here's what's on your calendar. It's listed. Now I can say where it says meet up about expanding SEO reach for Digital Verge, I can just come in here and say, give me a brief SEO audit for Digital Verge for some quick wins for his website, or something along those lines. Like I can say something like that. I could say, hey, do some research on Jeremy Lay and tell me what I need to cover for this particular topic. And I could just hit enter, and this is going to give me some talking points of what it is that I need to talk about whenever I have my fictitious meeting with this particular guy, right? So this is going to say, here's a practical quick win SEO checklist based on the best practices and audits from industry leaders in 2025. Audit and optimize title tags, review the homepage and main landing page, ensure it has unique keywords, blah, blah, blah. Benefit improved click-through rate from search results, fix broken links and redirects. So this is just going to give me a quick breakdown of some of the things that we can do from this particular site. Bonus strategy, quick strategy wins, strengthen internal links between the related articles, schema markup, social proof, showcase testimonials, etc. Okay, so this gives me an idea. This tells me right out of the gate what I've got to do tomorrow, and this is all pulling this from my Google Calendar. So I can go in and schedule things. Every week I can schedule my reports to be pulled for the particular domains that I want. I can schedule I can schedule all of these, if I've got calls, I can schedule that. I can put little notations into the calendar of what we're talking about. And then I can use Perplexity to get brief outlines and to get summaries of what it is that I need to cover with that particular individual. So that's one of the basic things that you can do that a lot of people didn't realize, probably, that when it comes to that. As far as the do we need to screenshot the prompts? You're going to share them later. I'm going to share most of the prompts, but this was not really you don't really need a prompt for this. It's just check my calendar. That's basically it. Check my calendar and tell me what I have tomorrow. And then you can just go in from there and just start having conversations with these. And that's really that's really what I do when it comes to these prompts. I don't believe like that you have to be a 100% the greatest expert on prompt engineering. I feel like you just need to have conversations with the AI. And whenever it gives you something that you don't like, say, okay, I wasn't wanting this, I was expecting this. What does my prompt need to be? And at that point, that's when you start copying and modifying the prompts. So that's kind of where that goes. So let me pop back in here at the keynote. Everybody good with that? Is that pretty cool? Drop me a 1 in the chat box. Got more and more people popping in, by the way, too. Got a good crowd here today. Drop me a 1, drop me a 1. There we go, cool. Appreciate it. All right. So now we're going into some of the more prompts that we are talking about. Topical authority. For those of you that don't know, this is probably one of the more talked about SEO ideas for the idea of generating content for your site. The idea here is to build authority, to build it greater than what it is that your competitors have. You have more content, you have more in-depth content, you have better content than the other competitors. Then you have more authority in Google and the trust goes up. Now, with that being said, I still believe links play a major role in all of that, but I do believe there is something to be said about getting the content dialed in just right. So again, you're trying to outdo your competition, but many will interpret this in a way to where they just go out and they just blanket the entire web with, blanket the web with the entire list of keywords on every single potential keyword that's possible, and that's the wrong way to do it. Some of these keywords need to be grouped and clustered together, so that way you're not just basically spamming everything with just every known possible potential variation of the particular keyword. So we want a clear, concise map, and again, we can use Perplexity to pull it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a Google Doc here with you. This is one that you can use, just modify it for your particular niche or your particular keywords. So let me just find this real quick and I'll send this over to you. One moment. Had all these loaded up. Just gotta. And you should see that popping into the chat box right about now. Let me know you guys get that. Just pop a 1 in the chat box. Realize that this is delayed a little bit. There we go. There we go. I see some of you popping in. There is a little bit of delay between my me and GoToWebinar. So we'll go over this. Create a detailed topical authority list for the keyword, and then just insert your main keyword here. Include all major brands related to the topic with buyer intent, like review, free trial, coupon, brand name, free trial, common brand to brand comparisons, a thorough list of how-to guides and actionable content ideas relevant to choosing or optimizing products. Present the output as clear, organized bullet point lists, separated into sections, brands, brand comparisons, and how-to guides. Use simple, human readable phrasing, ideal for content planning and SEO workflows. So let me just kind of break down why this is plugged in this particular way, and hopefully kind of make sense of all this. So first of all, when you're looking at the search, there's obviously the intent, and some of you old schoolers are going to know exactly where I'm going with this, but some of you that may be just popping in or maybe having a refresher, just kind of want to go over this whole idea. The stronger the buyer intent, of the particular keyword, the less selling that you have to do. So that means stuff like trial, coupon codes, discount codes, and then like brand reviews and brand names are all some of your highest, most valuable pieces of content that you're going to create. Okay, so it's important that you create these. A lot of times people overlook these because they say, oh, there's only 50 searches for a coupon, or there's only 50 searches for review or whatever. You got to realize that whenever you're at this particular level where people are typing in the brand, they're typing in review, they're typing in the coupon code or a trial or something along those lines, they've already done the research and they've already realized that they have a problem, they need a solution, and now they are looking at the brands that they have narrowed this down to. And really, all at that point, all they need is a little extra nudge or a little extra edge to say, this is a good purchase, this is a good product, this is something that we can get behind. That's all that they need. Or maybe they're looking for the best deal. That is why with SEO, you don't have to do this whole trust building and this whole thing with selling really, really hard, is because if you're targeting these types of terms, this is like shooting fish in a barrel. It's not hard at all. So then the next phase of this is your best of keywords, and these are evergreen type terms like best running shoes, best protein powder, best SEO software, something along those lines. And then you've got your how-to type content, and I would even say you've got your comparison content too up here. This is good convertible content as well, where you're comparing New Balance to Reebok, or product A versus product B kind of thing. But the how-to type articles, we are still building these, but I don't expect to make a fortune from them. So back in the day when we first got started, we wanted to build out stuff like real estate investing tips, and we did that, and real estate investing and creative real estate. The reason we targeted those terms was they showed a higher search volume in the results. That's why I rarely look at search volume these days, simply because I made way more money when we started focusing on these types of terms that had really strong buyer intent. So drop me a 1 in the chat box if that makes sense. Valerie, we're going to get to some local stuff too, but this would be, you could still use this, just to do a slight modifier for the local side too. Charles, there should be a question box. There's questions. You should be able to type something in there. It's where you just type this in. I can't place anything in chat box. That is the chat box there. So that I see all that. So just pop in your questions there. This is how I build affiliate sites, though. This is it right here. Okay, so I'm just going to delete this right here, just so this stays clean. You guys get the idea there, though, of kind of my whole outlook on that. So we're just going to copy this, and we're just going to pop this in. We're going to go back over here to home, and I'm going to create a detailed topical authority list, and I'm going to put in the main keyword we're going to include is going to be, in this case, we'll do best webinar software. Okay, something like that. I've done a lot of those types of pieces of content in the past, so we'll do that as an example. I'm just going to hit this right here and let this thing rip. So this is going to then pop in, and you can see it's doing its research thing, and it will pop in some results here for us. And you see right out of the gate, brand and buyer intent keyword variations. It's given us all the brands. I don't have to research it or anything. This is all under, just in a matter of seconds that this thing is popping this thing out. Now, when we started doing this whole thing back in the day, you'd have to go in and do researches and dig deep and find all the relevant particular types of stuff. And that's just not the case anymore. So you can see here, we have got a a huge list of content that we can build here. So you can see Zoom, buyer intent keyword, Zoom review, Zoom free trial, Zoom coupon. So all those would be, particular terms, but you don't need to create one for each one of these trial, coupon, discount codes, that kind of thing. Probably just one would be sufficient. GoToWebinar, Demio, live, a webinar jam, big marker, click meeting, WebEx. You go on down here, and then you got the brand-to-brand comparisons, and then you got the how-to guides and actionable content ideas. Okay, so this will be a good list for us to start with, just to be able to start creating content for these particular, to take over this particular webinar software space. God, is that a good thing? If not, drop me a line what you would like to see. Perplexity does have the ability that is searching current and relevant information. Yes, you can only comment in the comments are coming in the question box. Just for those of you. Okay, cool. All right, so everybody good with this? Kind of get an idea of how this whole thing works. Now, if you're wanting to do this for local, you could just modify this. You just modify this in like this right here. Instead of it being for a local site, you would just modify it. Just come in here and just go pop, right? And we're gonna do the keyword here. We'll do, let's just say Huntsville roofing. And I would just modify this to where it doesn't include any of this major brands and all that stuff. I would say include a thorough list of how-to guides and actual content ideas relevant to using, choosing, or optimizing product services in this niche. Present the output as clear, organized bullet point list into sections. Like this right here, include services. Okay, something like this. Okay, so we did this for Huntsville roofing, and we're gonna see what we can come up with. So what I'll do when we get off camera here, this is a pretty good place to start. If you will come back here and you pop into the Perplexity thing in the Perplexity prompts Google Doc, what I'll do is if you just come back and refresh it, I'll add a topical authority list for local as well. So this looks pretty good just out of the gate, but I'd like to tweak this a little bit and see if we can come up with a little bit cleaner of a list for that particular thing, for doing particular local searches. But also have got some stuff for Google My Business and some other things as well. So going on here as well. All right, so let's go back in here to Keynote, and then we'll go from there. So let's talk about building content that ranks. So whenever we build content that ranks, I touched on this earlier, I start with word count. With word count, I want to know how many words are on a particular page, what is already ranking in Google, what is it that they are expecting to see at the top, because Google's giving us really a footprint when it comes to what's already there. Okay, I want to match that. So if there's 2,000 words in the first spot and 2,200 in the second spot, and 2,600 in the third spot, and the fourth spot there's 1,800. Well, I know I'm going to be needing somewhere around 2,000 words to probably 2,200 words. And then what I want to do is I don't want to just guess. I want to modify or model the header outlines. So what I mean by that is the SEO title, the H1 tag, the H1 tag. If you're doing in a WordPress and a blog, that's going to be your blog post title, and then your H2s and your whole outline structure needs to model that particular what Google is expecting to be on the first page. The frequently asked questions, structure, how everything is formatted. If you were to go into a particular tool, something like, and I noticed this in the early days when we used Surfer before we canceled that. Before we canceled that, before AI kind of took off, we would go into Surfer, and one of the things that we would do is we would just put in the keyword in the H1, H2, H3 tags, and automatically that would bump the score up, and then all of a sudden we were getting these green lights that it was okay to publish. The reason is because a lot of the emphasis is putting on the H1s, the titles, and your outlines. It's less about what's in the paragraph section. You main things that you want to focus on is building something out to have the word count, and secondly, it's making sure your H1s, your H2s, H3s, and that outline and that structure is dialed in right. If you do that, you're probably 80-90% ahead of most people. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use that same idea here to prompt Perplexity to be able to do this. So this right here is what we're going to be using, and I'm going to share this with you guys. I'm going to copy this link, pop this over in the chat box. Thanks for all the questions, guys. Some of these we've got all over the board. So we got some real basic questions and some that are like super advanced guys that are in here. So I'll do my best to answer these the best way that I can. Yeah, I'll get some local stuff in there as well. We'll pop in we'll come back later, and I'll have a little bit more polished of a prompt on that Perplexity topical authority. But this is this one right here. This one is finding out what you need to build. Finding out what you need to build. Bradley, that is going to probably be more in the when we start building out the Parasite pages. You'll see kind of how that ties in. So this is the way this one goes. Act as an SEO expert, analyze the keyword, and then obviously put in your keyword, target word count needed, and then you can see we've got this whole structure here of what we want it to look like, okay? So in this case, we're gonna pop in. I'm just gonna copy this. We're gonna come over here, and I'm gonna paste this in like this, and we're gonna say, I want the keyword AC repair. Let's do an affiliate term. I'm just more comfortable with affiliate terms, so we'll do something like this: Kartra free trial. How about that? Appreciate it, Richard. Richard says ridiculous value here. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. If this is not the best free training webinar that you have been on, I would be seriously surprised. If you're enjoying it, then drop me a line in the chat box. All the bragging goes a long way. that helps. All right, so you can see here, this gives us the complete outline. And again, this is how I built. If you look at the AI SEO system, which builds everything from sheets, this is the first step that we do, but we're doing it through the API. So if you're building these like one or two Z at a time, then it's the same, really the same process. We're basically taking what Google is looking for, getting an outline for what it needs to look like, and then we're going from there to say, okay, build this article matching this outline. That's basically what we're doing here. But rank #1 in Google for the Kartra free trial keyword as of September 2025. Most high-ranking review and comparison pages contain 2,000 to 2,500 words. Recommended target word count 2,200 words. Complete outline. So this gives you the SEO title, how to get 30 days free, exclusive discounts. Then you got the meta description. Then you got this Kartra 30-day free trial as the H1 tag. Then you got the introduction, tells you exactly what to do with that. And then you can see right here, it's got these, coupon codes and that sort of stuff of what this is saying this is pulling from. And again, this is just pulling from the SEO, the existing SEO results that are out there. It's doing searches and that sort of thing for that. But I happen to know, because I've promoted this for a while, that there's no coupon code. So this is all just I think somebody else tried to say like, hey, you can put a coupon code, but you don't really need a coupon code. You just go to the link and that's all that there is to it. But that's neither here nor there. So which plans are eligible? And then you can see here, it's one of the questions. And then you go down here, there should be a FAQ section as well. And this gives you a good outline of what to do, okay? So now I can just say here, write me, if I wanted to say, write me an SEO optimized article following these guidelines, I could. And then if I wanted to pop this in here, and this will then just go into writing mode. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Richard, one of the things that will help get you into the AI snippets is having your stuff referenced with AI, and that helps with some of getting into the Parasite pages that I'm going to talk about a little bit later. When we start building these Parasite pages, you'll see that. So the chat box should not be disabled. You just typed in the chat box, so it's questions box is what you're typing in. Here we are. We built this article here. You can see this. And looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. I mean, this obviously we need to clean this up a little bit, but for the most part, you could live with this. Okay, so if I wanted to, we're just going to test something here. I'm going to go back to, we're going to say, let's go to Claude. And I'm going to say, okay, now write this SEO optimized using your suggested outline, but do not include any sources. Okay, so you saw before this includes sources. I don't want any sources. I just want the article, just the article. And I also modified this to where we are using Claude Sonnet instead of Sonar. Okay, so I happen to like Claude. I happen to like Claude, and I want to prompt Claude to pull this off. Okay, so just pop this in here. Let's see what we come up with. There we go. That's a little bit more like it. That was more like what I wanted to see. No sources or anything like that. But you can see here, we've got a nice little chart here. And this is something that, again, was written with the Claude model, all inside Perplexity's dashboard here. Everybody get that? Drop me a 1. That makes sense. Drop a 1. I'm going to say questions box so nobody is confused by a chat box. Drop a 1 in the questions box. Charles, I just changed this right here. You see this? I just changed this. You've got these models here. So you got Best, you got Sonar. Sonar is Perplexities. Claude is Claude, right? So I just had Claude to write it. You can also, if you wanted the Gemini to write it, or if you wanted Grok to write it, you could do that. All plugged in right there. Now, all good, all good. Now, if I'm not getting what I want, what I would do is I would just come in here and I would come in here and just pop in and say, that's not what I was looking for. I just say something like this. That wasn't what I was looking for. I was expecting X, Y, and Z. And I would tell it what I was expecting. And then once Perplexity give me the output that I was looking for, I would say in the future, then I would just say in the future, what does my prompt need to be? Okay. So at that, this is probably one of the most important pieces of this whole thing that I can teach you. This is one of the most important things I can teach you is this right here. No, that's not what I expected. I expected X, Y, and Z. You're telling it what you expected. And then once it gives you what you were looking for, then you ask it this question here. In the future, what does my prompt need to be? And what will happen is Perplexity will say, okay, in the future, here is your prompt, and it will pump out a prompt like something like this, right? It's just something that's like that you would never create or think to create. That's why I said I think the prompt engineering type stuff is somewhat overrated, because you can come in and you can just say, okay, that wasn't what I was looking for. I was looking more for this. Kind of look at the AI models almost as if you were hired a virtual assistant and they kept giving you the wrong things, and you just tell them, okay, that's not what I was looking for. I was looking more for you to do X, Y, and Z, whatever that is. And you just keep going back and forth, and then you pop that in the future, what does my prompt need to be to get this output? And when you do that, it's going to then at that point, it's going to rewrite your prompt so that way you will get more inclined and you will get a better response, and it speeds up this whole process. So you're not just sitting here going back and forth, pulling your hair out with the AI. Scott says, in other words, how do I ask the perfect question to my wife to get the answer I want and not what I deserve? Something like that. And look, what you're going to do is just going to keep a collection of these prompts and just keep perfecting and perfecting and perfecting. And that is the best way to do this. But that's what's worked for me. In the future, what does my prompt need to be to get to this output? I then end up with something like what you're seeing here. These crazy lengthy prompts like this. Like, I didn't write this prompt. Like, this was written by AI because I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and said, hey, this is what I'm expecting, and what does my prompt need to be? That's kind of where that come from. right, so let me go back in here. Thanks for all the feedback, guys. Appreciate it. So another thing that you can do here is image generation inside of Perplexity. So because you have access to these different models here, you can see here you got, like I was saying before, you've got ChatGPT 5, you've got Claude, you've got some of these others. You can set a default for your image creation. So if you just go in here and you go to preferences, and then I think it is down here, image generation model. So you can see right here, image generation model, and you can see your model that you can pick as a default. And you see it, when you say click to choose here, it takes you back here and you choose from this model here for that. But in the preferences side of things, you can select your image generation model. So if you want ChatGPT image 1, you can do that. You've also got the Nano Banana, you've got Sea Dream, GPT image 1, Flux, and then DALL-E that you can use as well. So I just selected mine as GPT image 1. I believe that ChatGPT's and OpenAI's image generation tool is one of the best that there is. So I just leave it at that. But you can also, I'm just telling you, you can generate these images inside of Perplexity, and you can set your image generation right here. So for those of you that have been going to some of these other tools to build this, I'd encourage you to start looking at maybe popping these into Perplexity as well, and start generating images. I don't know the exact limitations on the number of that for these particular accounts. I don't know that. So for those of you that may be asking that, I don't know the exact specifics on that, but I do know that you have the capability in there to pull that off. All right, so let's go into a little bit more of local stuff. Let's talk about Google My Business analysis. What this does, this lets you analyze your Google My Business profile. So here's what we got here. I'm going to share this with you guys as well. Just a second here, share. This is all new stuff. This is all new stuff. I've not talked about this anywhere. So I'm going to drop this into, I'm dropping this into the chat box. Let me know in the questions tab or the questions box that you get it. Now, I know some of you have said you're just kind of used to Zoom. That's okay. I'm an old schooler. I've had this GoToWebinar account for probably 12 years, maybe. And so I'm just an old school guy, and I'm used to what I'm used to, and I don't like Zoom. That's just, at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. I don't really like this platform either that much, but it's just what I'm accustomed to. So I feel like there's this almost this pain of switching. So I've been reluctant to switch. That I don't want to switch. So that's basically it. All right. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to pop in your business profile name, and you're going to compare it to the others. So I don't have a Google My Business, but what we're going to do is we're going to go out and find some, and we're going to go out and find some. Let's see here. Oh, is that not? Okay, for some reason that's not pasting that in here. Maybe it is. Okay, hang on one second. Let me pop this in real quick. There we go. There we go. For some reason it wasn't copying. That's weird. Okay. So I'm just going to go into, I'm going to minimize this, and we're going to go to use this into, like, I have no, there's nothing here that's mine, but I'm going to do advanced roofing and construction LLC. Well, let's pick the third one here. We'll say Huntsville Roofing and Siding, since they're not number one. Your task, Google My Business profile 4, and I'm just going to roofing and siding, a a roofing company located in Huntsville, Alabama. My primary competitors are, and we're just going to put in some of these competitors. Hopefully nobody here is doing anything with these people. I just thought this would be easiest here. So we'll just do this. These two primary competitors are Cultus Roofing and Home Safe Roofing and Construction. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit this and let this do its thing. I'm gonna go to the questions tab or the thanks, Wayne, appreciate it. Wayne, let's see. Richard says, no wonder your wife was ticked off with you for not charging for this. Did you guys see my email today? My email basically said that my wife was upset with me for not charging for this. Was basically the PS in the email. So yeah, I'll share that prompt here. You should get that. It should be in the chat box there. I'll send it again. So I'm going to send this in the chat box, and question box is where you pop in your questions. Jonah, okay, did you like that? I know we've met, and like you said you felt sorry for my wife because of some of the crazy emails that I say. Like most of these are inspired by some level of some truth, but that one was just kind of me being silly. I don't know. Yeah, you may have to scroll down in the chat. All right, let's see here what we got. And make sure that share is on. Okay, so that doesn't make sense here. Let's see. Try this again. Okay. So now you saw that happen, right? Said I didn't have enough information, I didn't have enough details, and I just went back in and I edited the query, and I just changed the model from Sonar to just best, and then hit enter again, and then this gives me a breakdown here, and this gives me an idea of what we would need to be doing here. Profile completeness and optimization audit. Huntsville Roofing and Siding is clear. Blah 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 blah. NAP consistency. NAP is name, address, phone. The name, address, Huntsville, Alabama, and website Roofing Huntsville should be triple checked for full consistency across all online platforms. Primary and secondary categories. Recommended primary roofing contractor. If also doing siding, add siding contractor as a secondary category. This is critical for local SEO. business description. So this gives me an idea of some of the things that we could be doing if this were the case. If I was doing SEO and I wanted to get some quick, 30,000 foot view of what we could be doing, and then giving us some strengths and weaknesses. So use this prompt, pop it in there, pop in a couple of the competitors, and see what you come up with. Here you get top 5 immediate actions: launch a review generation campaign, ask every satisfied customer to leave Google reviews. Let's see how many reviews that they had. That the one that we looked at, Huntsville Roofing Siding, they had 32. Got it. To publish regular Google posts, seasonal. These are basic type tips, but you guys get the idea here. We use Perplexity to give a good idea of some of the things that we can do in relation to upping and building these Google My Business profiles, and maybe seeing some opportunities. The one that I did yesterday and a couple days beforehand were a lot more detailed. And what this particular one is just a little, maybe the one before, maybe I picked up something that was like lower in the rankings. I don't really know, but should we save copies of these files? Presume you're not keeping the links open after class. Yeah, Richard, you can save a copy. I'm going to go back in. You can check the link on this topical authority one. I'm going to add something for the local space as well to that when we get done with it. All right. And guys, again, we hadn't even started with the building of the Parasite type pages as well. So yeah, we'll get to that here in just a moment. So yeah, you save a copy of it. Also check back for that particular one. I'm going to make an update to that once we get done with the call, and I get a day or two to kind of catch my breath a little bit. I've been kind of running and gunning the last few days. All right, so let's go back into analyzing existing content. So some of you probably have clients or you've got sites and you want to know, okay, how can I improve this content? What is it that I need to do based on what I'm looking at, what I've got? What is it that I can do, what I can improve upon? Again, going back to word count, outline, how does my site compare to the other stuff? So here, this is where we use this particular prompt. I'm going to share this with you as well. So let's click share, and then anyone with a link, copy this link. Again, you can save these to your own Google Drive. And this is all in the chat, going to be all in the chat box. So you may have to scroll down to the bottom to see those, but you'll see another one should populate in there. Appreciate it, Wayne. Thank you. All right. Go through this real quick. Need to analyze my existing content for SEO optimization to rank 1 on Google. Please examine the following aspects and provide specific recommendations. And then you're just giving it the content, you're giving it the keyword. So we're going to go and we're just going to copy all that. I'll pop this over back into Perplexity. All right, I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this one up right here. This one that I just, this one right here, Kartra trial one, and insert the URL. So we're just going to put that in right there. And then the target keyword would be Kartra free trial, either Kartra trial or Kartra free trial, something like that. Okay, so we're going to hit this. Okay, right out of the gate, what do we need to do? We got to up the word count. And I knew that. That'd be the first thing on the list. So you see, we got 650 to 700 words of content. Top ranking competitor pages range from 1,200 to 2,000 words. Okay, so we don't have enough content. Recommended optimal word count is 1,500 to 2,000 words. Current page content is readable but lacks depth in some important areas, including trial sign-up instructions, feature breakdowns, pricing nuances, cancellation policies. H1 is present and focused on the Kartra trial. Okay, so that checks out. There are multiple H2 headings on brand, intro, trial, features, pricing, but the structure lacks deeper H3 subdivisions that competitors use for organized content, step-by-step guides, FAQs, and detailed features. Missing opportunities are adding FAQ section with relevant questions extracted from people also ask on Google, and more granular sections for user clarity. Keyword presence is moderate in heading, but could improve by including phrases like Kartra free trial sign up, how to cancel Kartra trial, Kartra pricing after trial. Logical flow is decent, but can be enhanced with clear segmentation and stepwise instruction formats. Okay, so we know what we got to do. Now we got the specific actionable recommendations. Expand word count to 1,500 to 2,000 words. Revise heading hierarchy. So that means we've got to modify the H2s and add some H3s in there for subpoints under each one. And then we've got to add the FAQ. And that's going to be a good start. The strategic update plan with competitor analysis and modern SEO best practices will significantly improve the chances of ranking #1 on Google for the targeted keyword Kartra free trial. Okay, now, if I said, okay, if I wanted to come in here after this and said, okay, we're lacking in the frequently asked questions and the people also ask, I could just pop in here and say, hey, can you give me the FAQs I need to include, as well as any people also ask questions. Okay, you're going to see PAAs a lot. That stands for people also ask. So when we say PAAs, that's people also ask. So that's where you go to Google and you'll see a little box. You all have seen it, and you'll see where you got the keyword. There's a box. It says people also ask, and you'll see those questions popping in there. And this is you do this, and this is going to tell you the recommended FAQs to include with a Kartra trial for that particular keyword. So that way we're not really having to think, you're not having to really think about what is it that I got to create? What is it that I've got to write out? What is it that is expected of me to get on this particular page? I know I've got 600 words of content. I know I need to get to 2,000. What have I got to build? So this is really telling us what we're missing. Drop me a line if this makes sense and everybody's good and everybody's digging it. Give me a 1. I'm gonna take a quick breather here just for a second and get some water. Cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. Perfect. I like that. When somebody says your training is perfect, that's great. What do you do with all these suggestions? Do you copy good such to a folder, Google Drive, or directly edit and save on Parasite page? Well, in this case, we were editing our page. Where was it? We were editing this page. So what I would do is I would just have Perplexity to either write the content for us and then just pop it in here. You guys see this is an old page, but I think this video was done in right here. Kartra trial for 30 days in 2020 2022. So this is kind of an oldie. So yeah, I would just edit the page inside here is all I would do. All right, let's go back here to presentation mode. If you've got any questions about what we've covered so far, drop me a line in the chat box, or the question box, I should say. Drop me a line in the question box, and I'll do my best to answer it. We're gonna move into Parasite mode here. I'll wait on you. All right, cool. So let's talk about building Parasite pages with Perplexity. So these particular pages with Perplexity can rank really, really quick. We're talking within a couple of days, sometimes less than that. Sometimes they're ranking within a day. So the key here is you want to build them around the keyword that you want to go after. You can try building some of these around like maybe your company presence or your own stuff or your name and that kind of thing if you wanted to do that, and then get them indexed. The indexing service that I'm using is going to be is still Omega Indexer. I like it. It's very reliable. Sometimes the indexers just go kind of wonky or whatever, because Google is always, manipulating things and modifying things. But I found that Omega has been probably the most consistent of any of them. But what we're doing is we're building these Parasite pages, then we're sending them to the indexer, and typically they are getting found pretty quick. Now, when you do this, this not only helps you to create a page that ranks pretty quick in the search results, but this also helps get this content and these link sources in with the LLMs, which is going to help influence you with AI overviews and AI search and AI modes. So let's go ahead, let's dig into this of how this whole thing works. Now, when I show you this, I want you to know first and foremost, with Perplexity, I am not the biggest fan of these pages. I hate to say that. I'm not being negative about it. I'm not the biggest fan of these pages because we can't modify how they look per se. We can only modify and tweak certain aspects of the pages. So when it comes to this, if these rank, it's good, but don't expect a lot of conversions. You want to use these to build links to your existing stuff and use these as sources for the keywords that you want to go after. So that way it adds some relevancy to your stuff, your sites, and maybe even other Parasite sites that you're trying to rank. So the way to get this is you go over here to home, and you can go over here to library, and you can click this little icon here, and that will take you to your pages, or you can click this right here, and you can click to add a new page, and this is going to say what's your page about. So at this point, we just go in and we just type in what we want our page to be about. We're just going to use this Kartra free trial option for let's see, we'll do 2025 pricing. Okay, so when I hit this right here, then you see there's nothing here for me to prompt or whatever. It's just, this is my only option. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and click this, and you can see this automatically starts writing this. Okay, this automatically starts writing. So like I was saying, we can't control how this looks per se, but the important thing is you want to take up additional spots if at all possible, and you want to reference your stuff if at all possible, and you want to, if at all possible, move your competitors down, right? That's basically it at the end of the day. So you can see right here, this is pulling this, and you can see this has got 16 sources, 18 sources, and this is pulling this out right here, and this is creating this whole thing. So initially, I wasn't real happy about this because I could not figure out for the life of me how to modify it. And I was like, if we're building this page, like, why would I want to do this whenever whenever it's just building out a page referencing competitors, or when it's referencing, just a page about Kartra, and I can't monetize it and I can't use it. So that's where you come in here and you can see you got all this stuff right here. So what we can do is we can add sections. Number one, we can add sections, and we can also edit. Okay, so editing is where you're going to come into using your links. Okay, so like right here, activating the extended 30-day trial requires a desktop or a laptop computer, and okay, blah 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 blah. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hover over this, and I'm going to give this some custom instructions. And what I'm going to say is something along the lines of reference the content and source the content from this URL. And I'll put in the URL there. And I'm going to say reference this content. I'm going to say something like, because it's more updated and newer and more relevant to the offer. Then I'm going to say also source the content from this URL. So in other words, take this source right here out and do this. Okay. And so what this is going to do, this is going to rewrite this. And this should, but it looks like we've got an internal error. This should modify this to build that particular, to redo that to where that will build that particular link. Okay. So that's what we're doing here. Okay. So I don't know what's going on with Perplexity, but this is worked for me the last couple of weeks here. So I don't know why we are running into an internal error. I assume this is just a glitch with Perplexity. So let me just show you what this looks like here on a real live one, and then that way we can kind of go from there. So give me just a second. It looks like I broke Perplexity. All right, I'm going to do a search for a limitless nootropics coupon code. This is an affiliate offer that I've promoted, and this is a one that has a coupon. Look here, we're on the first page of Google for that particular term. This is us, and you can see what I've done here. So in this instance, I have modified this to include my coupon code. This right here, Shoals code 15%. If somebody does a search for coupon code, they go to this and they use Shoals as the coupon code, then I get credit for it. And there's the link here, and this is going to another Parasite. You can see the Parasite is referenced here. This is the only source for this particular area. So that's what I was saying. This is good because this gives us reference to our other stuff, but these also rank, and this will also help push your competitors even further down. The key is just going in and editing the content that you see on these particular pages. Okay, does everybody get this? You want me to shoot this link over so you can actually see this? Drop me a one. Drop me a one below. All right, just shot that over to the chat box. I'll go back over that again, Bradley. So when you create these pages, it's automatically sourcing the content automatically. So what you're having to do is you're just going in and making these edits. And if you want to delete sections out of this, you can. Like, let's say you wanted to, delete a particular section, you could. But yeah, that particular page ranked in a day. Okay. Jonica, I don't remember if I did this one or not. Can you tell it to source only your content? I have worked on that and tried. I have not figured that way out. So what I am trying to do is adding multiple parasites, multiple domains that I have, just so that way there's like a good mix. Yeah, I don't remember if I referenced this one in the other training or not. I'm not sure. I may have. I talk so much. Whenever I get onto these calls, I talk a lot of times, and sometimes I don't mean to reveal. Like I didn't intend on revealing this particular one, but when that perplexity issue just kind of crapped out, I felt like I kind of needed to show an example. Simply amazing. Okay, cool. Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna just go back in here. I'm gonna X out of that and see if I can figure out this issue here with Perplexity. Perplexity wrecked my presentation. Matt, I have not done any linking to that Perplexity page at all. So to make the page, just go through this again. You go here to home and you see where it says library. If you click on this is going to take you to all of your pages. If you just want to create a page, you just click on this and you just go to page. And that is where you tell what the page is about. And when you do that, then you're going to hit over here and you're going to go to next. And then this is going to build the page. Okay. Now, what that's going to do is that's going to source all of the details, right? So in this case, let's just try building another one here. Let's just do my name, because Derek Pierce, AI and SEO expert, or AI and SEO ninja. What do you think? Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what this pulls up. Oh, looky there. We got somebody that has swiped my course, I guess, and decided to sell it. That's rich. So when you when you see this, you can delete some of these images here. Interesting. Probably should not have done this live on camera. After all, that's why I put AI and SEO. There is a adult film star that has my name, and so that is why I put AI SEO expert there. So you can see right here, you got some of these. You got my site, blah blah blah. Pierce's AI operates on the contrarian principle that traditional writing for users approaches in SEO are fundamentally flawed. I like that. Okay, so that's how you create the page. Then normally what would happen, I think Perplexity has got some sort of glitch right here. You would just come in and you would make the edits. Right here, you give it custom instructions. Okay, hey, reference this URL here. You can also add a section. If you add a section, you just say, what's this about? And I could tell this, this is about, whatever. I could say, trying to think. I can't even think straight right now. Consider this as a page about me, but I'm not that interesting, is what I feel like. But yeah, you can create whatever the section is about, and then at that point, you can you could try saying, hey, reference this URL and put the reference in this particular section. I've done that too. That's kind of not really hit every single time, so just test that and see what happens. But what's worked best for me has been coming in here and modifying these, the stuff that's already been built. Okay, and if I don't like it, you can just come in here and you can just delete the section. Say I want to delete that section, or you can do edit and give it a custom instruction. Okay. So what we're going to do here, when we get it ready, we just simply click publish, and this is going to publish this right here. You're going to copy this link, and then you're going to go over into Omega Indexer. And this is you're going to pop that into this, and then it's going to index typically within a day to 2 days, and it will start showing up in the search results. But the one that I showed you just a little bit ago showed up on the first page in about a day. That was created probably about a week and a half ago, maybe, if my memory's right, about a week and a half ago, week ago, and it showed up in a day, and it's just continued to climb. Yes, Perplexity does allow you to edit that particular page. So if I want to come back in here and let's say I wanted to edit that particular page, I just go back to edit page, and then I make the modifications from there. Does Perplexity, okay, I already answered that one. Can you reference multiple pages within one of these parasites, or do you keep one for each keyword page? Yeah, you could create and reference multiple pages. Like what I was saying before, with some of the ones that I've done is I will go in here and I will modify this paragraph and I'll say source it from this URL. And like what's worked for me is like, let's just try another one here and let's see if this works. Give me just a second. Trying to find something that has got some content for me. Okay, this is back when I had the massive crazy beard here. So I'm going to copy this right here. This is work too where I will copy the content, and let's say I want to change this right here. And reference the URL derekpiercemedia.com. Let's see if this works. All right, so use this, then reference the URL as the source. So if this crashes, we know it's an issue with Perplexity because this has been working up until today. Yeah, okay, so you guys see that. So what I have found to work the best has been copying the info directly from the page that you're wanting, and then asking Perplexity to edit it. And then from there, it will edit it, and it will then modify the source to be to your particular source. So you're just gonna have to take my word for it. What if anyone else published their own page for Derek Pierce in Perplexity? Have you tried this? Would the two pages cannibalize themselves? Good question, advanced question. So for this particular one, at the end of the day, what's probably going to happen is there's going to be whoever builds links to these. If like there's another page that pops up, it's probably going to be whoever builds the links to it is going to then be more optimized and is going to rank from there. For that, I'm not really worried about that. Honestly, I hadn't even thought of that, but it is a good question, something to ponder. But I don't think that that's going to be a major issue moving forward. Does Omega price per submission? I think there's like a subscription, like a credit-based type system. What language model are you using in Perplexity for this? I was using just the best option. Actually, with the pages, you don't select. You just say, hey, create a page, and it just builds the page and sources it for that. This is kick-ass, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, you got a lot of value out of this. I know this the internal error kind of F things up, but I can't help it. It is what it is. Copy the content, and then say reference this particular source because this is more up to date. That has been the best thing for me when it comes to making these modifications and these edits. Give me one if you enjoyed it so far. All right, so here is what you can also do with this. You can also use Perplexity for coding, as you guys are probably well aware, using AI. You can use this for coding. You can use this for coding projects. So let's just say, for example, we wanted to build automations for a tool like N8N, right? If you wanted to use something for like N8N, how many of you know what N8N? Give me a 1 for you know what it is. Give me a 2 if you don't. 1 if you know what N8N is. 2 you don't. And I'll wait for you to answer. I'm going to get a sip of coffee here and kind of ease my throat. Thanks, James. Appreciate it. Yeah, lots of N8N enthusiasts, people that know about it. Lots of people don't know about it. Interesting. Okay, cool. So N8N is one of our favorite tools for building automations, and you can use Perplexity to help write the code for that. So you can set up automations for your own clients. These are services that, for those of you that may be wondering, okay, well, how does this benefit me? Well, these are services that you can add to your arsenal. As a matter of fact, I would say a lot of you that are doing SEO for clients probably need to be doing SEO as a back-end type service, as more of a upgrade. The reason that I say that is there's a lot of people that you could sell automation type services to versus going straight in for SEO. And the reason that I like the automations and this particular angle better is because this is something that happened probably last month that just kind of blew me away. Was I started selling a done for you option, and I sold done for you options for building out, these AI models and that sort of thing, and people were blown away with it. And one of the reasons that I feel that was that way was because they saw an immediate, instant thing working. Now, a lot of you that are doing SEO, you know that they're looking at you and going, yeah, but when's this going to happen? They're looking at like, when is this going to take place? When can I see results? That's one of the first questions that they're going to ask you is like, okay, this sounds good, but I paid a guy for 12 months or 18 months and I never saw anything, right? That's kind of the idea behind it. So with this is a whole nother service that you can sell, that you can then say, hey, we can clone you and we can create these automations so that way you can start popping everywhere, because at the end of the day, that's what this is all about. It's all about being everywhere, appearing in the AI search results, appearing in the AI overviews, AI mode, AI, everything with AI. It's all about being on all these particular platforms. And I've shown you some things that you can do to get into some of these platforms, but at the end of the day, this is something that you can offer people that they could see immediately. So you can say, hey, we're going to have this workflow set up and it's going to be ready for you in 10 days. And in the 10-day mark, they can see these things start firing off. What do you think the perception of that relationship is going to be from a client standpoint? They're going to be like, holy cow, this guy's doing what he's saying he's going to do, right? And for a lot of like client type work, this is good from the standpoint of SEO too, because one of the major things with local clients is a lot of times their stuff looks like a ghost town. Well, some of these automations can allow you to multiply that content across all of these different channels, and they can start popping and firing on a regular basis. So this is something you can set up these automations, and at the end of the day, think about it for a moment. When are they going to call you? I want you to pop that in. When are they going to call you? When are they going to call you? I had a SEO, one of my last SEO clients messaged me on a Friday afternoon and said, what the F? And they had a screenshot of where their stuff had dropped, what they thought had dropped. It technically hadn't dropped. They were just logged into their Google account and they had been clicking on their competitor stuff, and they were furious. And then we have this conversation, have this call, and it's like, I'm like, look, you're being an idiot. You didn't even log out of Google. You didn't even go incognito mode. The fact is, they're not going to call you unless some of these automations break. And at that point, it's not the end of the world. You just fix it and you move on, right? This is something that's more in your control. So what you want to do is sell these automations and then cherry pick the people that you want to offer some of the more advanced SEO type stuff too. It's a lot easier to sell. And since AI, this is all on everybody's mind when it relates to AI. They're going to hit you up whenever something breaks, you fix it, into the story. And that's it. That's it. It's not going to be this thing of where, like the SEO stuff. Oh, I paid you for 6 months and now, I don't have anything to show for it. It's, you see what we've done for you and this is working. Okay, so let's just say, for example, I wanted to set up one of these automations with N8N. I could come in here to Perplexity and say, I'm looking, and again, we're just starting with a basic chat, nothing, no advanced prompting or anything like that. I'm looking to create, guys, you gotta go easy on my spelling here. Sometimes my mind's running just like a million miles an hour, and it's like my fingers can't catch up. So I'm looking to create an N8N automation for a local business where we syndicate content from the blog post to Facebook. And this is just something very basic, right? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Or let's not do TikTok. Let's do Instagram and just leave it at that. How about that? Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and we'll do LinkedIn. That's what I was thinking. Can you give me the JSON code to create this for N8N? So N8N runs on JSON code. I don't know what the hell that means, but you don't need to. I don't know what it means. You don't have to know what it means either. So we're going to leave the best model on right here. And then we're just going to pop this in. And this is going to then ask us what they need to be able to create this. And then this is going, if it's got enough information, then this is going to pop in the JSON code for us. So that way we can then implement this into our N8N workflows, right? How great is that? How great is that? And that is why most people would benefit from using and learning these types of automations, so they could quickly plug these types of tools into automation rules and setting up these automations using stuff like N8N. So drop me a 1 in the chat box if you could use something like this to your advantage in selling local clients, or just your business overall. Drop me a 1. I'm gonna get a sip of coffee here. My voice is almost torched. So hopefully you guys have got a lot out of today, but drop me a 1 and let me know if you could use this. Cool. Thanks, Charles. Ed, Jocelyn. Okay, Rick, Richard, Christine. Scott, Bobby, Mike. All right, cool. So that is why I want to invite you to our next training. Next training is going to be the Automations Bootcamp. This is all using N8N. This is going to show you how to set up N8N. We're going to set up N8N from scratch from the very beginning. So for those of you that, like, maybe you know what N8N is, but you don't know how to set it all up, and you don't know how to be efficient with it. You don't know how to, like, set everything up, because when you open this up, it's a lot, right? It's a lot. So we're going to be doing this boot camp. This is all going on next week. It's Thursday and Friday, September 25th and the 26th. This is all going to be recording, so you can go through this at your own pace. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be setting N8N up from scratch. And you can join in and ride shotgun with me, and while we help use AI to help build out these workflows. So what you're going to be getting 2 days of this, and then you'll be getting any of the workflows and the blueprints that we build inside of N8N during this particular class. So again, it's going to go down Thursday and Friday, September the 25th and the 26th, and you'll get any of the bonus workflows that we build for this. And we've got a special pre-launch price for being here today. I really appreciate you being here today, and hopefully you've gotten a lot out of it. You get in today for the one-time investment of just $295. Now, this is a pre-launch price. That is the discount, because you are counting on me to deliver. Like, when you get in there, what you're going to see once you go through the checkout process, you go through a secure server and all that stuff. It then is going to go to the members area where you register for the class. This is going to be 2 days. It's going to be similar to what you've seen here. Lots of raving reviews on this particular class. I've saw the chat box blow up today talking about how great this is. Expect something similar for this, but instead of talking about Perplexity, we're going to be diving into N8N. There's going to be a lot of work that we put together, and the whole goal is to get N8N working for you, so that way you can implement these types of automations and you can use AI to help pull the whole thing off. So let me just go ahead here and drop this into the chat box. You will see this link. It's DerekPierceTraining.com/AB. When you go to that URL, we're just going to open this link up right here. When you go to that URL, you should see a little something like this: the Automations Bootcamp with N8N. You can see investment today is $295. And once you join that, you'll get a spot at the table in the for the class. And again, we'll give you all the automations that we build during these particular 2 days. But this is designed to help you get N8N set up running and gunning and working for you and using AI and the bots as much as possible to your advantage. So that way you can sort of free yourself from some of the mundane tasks, but simultaneously giving you something else to sell that is an easier sell than what you're looking at with SEO and waiting on SEO results, something that you can deliver that is something that they can actually see. So go ahead, click on the link. Again, this is a pre-launch price. That is a discount simply because you are counting on me to show up and deliver. So let me go here. What time is the training? This is going to be at the same time at 1 o'clock Central, 2 o'clock Eastern. Thank you, Jonica. There's not a training like this anywhere. Appreciate it. Thanks, Terry. Appreciate it. Yeah, so the training is going to be 1 o'clock Central Time or 2 o'clock Eastern on Friday and Saturday of next week. So we'll start. I'm sorry, not Friday and Saturday, Thursday and Friday. Misspoke there. It's going to be on Thursday and Friday. You see what happens when I get away from my notes. Thursday and Friday of next week. One second, Michelle, I'm going to respond to you privately. One second. Thanks for being here, Jocelyn. Appreciate it. Okay. Any questions? Drop me a line below into the questions box. See, I'm getting better at this. I know they call it the questions box. For those of you that are in next level, I see a couple of questions. If you're in next level, these are separate from that. These are additional trainings that I'm doing away from next level. So for those of you that are asking that, can we use this to create local service, home, and hyper local? Let's see. Can we use this to create local service, home, and hyper local page content? So each page will have unique content. You talking about with what we done in Perplexity? Michelle, either one. You can do Facebook is fine, or email, either one. I built several, they're published and zero them are indexed. I built backlinks and you indexer with no luck. Dan, what is the indexing service that you're using? Appreciate it, Darren. Thank you. Ed, I'm not using it for that purposes. I'm using my AI SEO system for generating content, but I am then you can use it for other things. One of the things that I'm using this for, I'll just show you guys. This is probably not going to be the scope of this, but this one of the things that you can do with this. And I didn't have intentions of showing this, but I'll show you guys anyway. Get an idea here of what. Dan, try Omega and see what you come up with. I don't know what that one is. So this is one of the things that we are doing right now within ADN. So this just looks like a simple spreadsheet, but what we're doing is we're taking some of my videos inside of our next level group, and this is running all the time, right? So anytime we upload a video to this, this is pulling like 5 big ideas out of that 1.5 hour to 2 hour call, right? 5 big concepts, 5 big ideas. And this is all like membership type content. So I don't want to share the members content. That would be uncool of me. But what I do like doing is pulling like these concepts and like big 30,000 foot view of ideas that I can use to move forward, right? And use these in other areas. So like we're talking like little tweets or like little 30-second to 60-second reels, that kind of thing. So all of this right here is done all automatically through N8N, and this is something that you could do. And if there's an interest in this, I'll definitely share this in the class. But basically what happens is once there's a video that gets uploaded to Dropbox, and what happens is this transcription happens all automatically. Then this comes back with a suggested title. Again, it's pulling 5 ideas. So like you see right here, these first 5, these were all from one call, 5 big ideas. And then it gives me a script, and I can use this script for anything that I want. If I want to use this to generate a video, like an AI avatar video where I have my own talking head, then I can do that. So like in this case right here, and that's what this is all designed to do here. So like you see, we got proofread. I'm not doing this where it's fully automated because I want to be able to customize the text before it goes to the final landing spots. So like right here, this one right here, this was all generated from using N8N with the automations that I have. But if you're starting a local SEO campaign from scratch, don't know where to begin, here's the exact strategy that's getting my roofing sites double listings in Google. Start with an exact match or partial match domain for your main city, customize the homepage, yada, yada, yada. Here's the secret sauce most people branch out into related topics that your competitors ignore, like how roofs improve property value, working with insurance companies. These low-cost, competition, high-intent topics are ranking me in the top 3 for emergency roof repair, while also boosting my main keyword rankings. Follow Digital DP for more. Okay, so with this, I can use this to generate. I can use this to generate podcast episodes. I can use this to generate videos, like AI videos, if I wanted to, or I can just copy these and pop these in as Facebook posts or Instagram posts or whatever it is that I want to do, right? So this is always running. And again, you can use this. This is all tied in for this particular one. This is tied into HeyGen for those of you that may be asking. So yeah. But hope that answers your question. But this is just one of the things. Yes, Matano, message me and I will get you squared away on that. I was running a little bit late on getting everything up and running. And so, yes, I meant to have that knocked out beforehand, but just message me and I'll get that taken care of. Any questions about N8N or the class or anything that we covered today? I'll be happy to take your questions. Just drop me a line. Sure, appreciate the plug on Facebook too. Thank you very much. What is your favorite AI podcast producer? The one that creates podcasts with people talking with a script generated by AI. You mean like which platform? Is that what you're asking, or which model that I'm using? Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. So for me, what I like on podcasts, I'm just using for. I'm not using it for my own stuff per se. Let me rephrase that. Okay. For my stuff, I have got my stuff cloned using what is that service called? 11 Labs. 11 Labs. for the other stuff that I do, that's just totally irrelevant for me. I'm just using ChatGPT. You can use ChatGPT to create these voices. Other people that I've helped, we've used their voice with 11 Labs. 11 Labs is the best one. But what we're doing is we are publishing a lot of the podcasts, and it just syndicates to all of these different platforms. The idea here is just to create relevancy around the brand and having brand representation on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, that sort of thing. And so that way, this spreads across all of these particular different platforms. Appreciate it, Ed. Thank you. Yeah, Matano, send me a message. I'm not real sure I'm following you. Let's see here. Lots of questions. Thank you, guys. Donica, it's probably going to be some just like more content automation type stuff, like syndication and that sort of thing, and being able to transfer content from one thing to the next. If you've got some ideas, shoot me a message. I'll definitely be open if there's something that you were looking for specifically. I would definitely be open to trying, building something between now and then if there's something that you're looking for. Thanks, Mike. Does that answer your question, Michelle? Thanks, Matano. Appreciate it. Michelle, I want to make sure I got your question answered about the podcast platforms. I did an AI podcasting system. If you're in next level, if you got in next level in time, you probably have access to that. So go back through that. That was using Make, and that particular thing, it just works, and it's definitely something that you can apply to client work. So if you enjoyed today, jump in the class. I think you'll dig it. We're going to be going 2 days, and I would love to see you guys there. If there's no more questions about Perplexity, what we're talking about, anything we talked about today, or SEO related or AI related, we're going to fix me calling this. My voice is like really, really parched. So I've been going for 2 hours roughly. Let me know in the chat box before we call it. If not, we're gonna be ending this session. Appreciate it, Dan. How long are these pages ranking for? These are still new. Darren, I don't know the answer to how long they're going to rank or anything like that. One of the things that you want to do is you milk them while you can, and that's one of the reasons why we're popping in, trying to get those source links going out to our money sites and our other parasites and our other pages, is just so we can squeeze as much as we possibly can. So the goal is to get the rankings, but then also popping in some links from some of these sources, so that way we can start showing up in some of the AI overviews as well. And then also, once this happens, if you start seeing them drop a little bit or something, then start popping them with some links. One of the big things when you're talking about Parasite SEO, or at least it's been this way for me, is a lot of times people are so scared of building links to these, and that is one of the biggest advantages you have with using a parasite method. Is you're not attached to your money site, outside of just having a link. The thing about it is I've not been able to rank some of these unless I have pounded them with links. So link building is still an integral part of all of this. Dale, drop me a line, drop me a message if you don't care, Dale. All right, nothing else. I'm going to call this. Thank you guys so much for being here. Again, I'm going to drop the link here inside the chat box. Go here, jump on this now. Price is going to go up at some point. This is a pre-launch type special offer. Again, the discount is because you are going to, you know, that I'm going to, you're putting the trust in me that I'm going to show up and deliver, which I've been doing this long enough. You guys know that I will. Again, thank you guys for being here, and I really do appreciate you and look forward to seeing you guys next week. Take care. Talk soon.